My friends, they're a little kooky, but they mean well. They have the whole world at their disposal.
The Asians are here! Just go shopping. That's the best therapy.
You got it. Flaunt it. It's only $19,000 a month.
This one or the black one? This is perfect for hiking. Well, Asian, we don't fight.
I feel like crazy attracts crazy.
Hi everyone, my name is Dana. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Today we are going to be talking about Bling Empire. So for those of you who don't know what that is, Bling Empire is a new reality TV series on Netflix. So it recently came out, I want to say like a week ago at this point. And it's a pretty short series. There's only 8 episodes, but I was literally hooked from, I believe, the very first one. So honestly, I watched the trailer. I was a little baffled by it, but I was intrigued because it reminded me very much of like Crazy Rich Asians meets reality TV, and I was like there for it. So as soon as it came out, I had to watch it, and I actually binged the entire thing in like a day and a half, and I do not regret a single moment of that. So this show basically follows a group of friends who are very, very wealthy Asians who live in Los Angeles. And so it really just follows their daily lives, and mostly them spending absurd amounts of money and having parties and traveling and just all of these things that they do in their general life. That's kind of the premise of the whole show. And I think part of what really drew me into this show though was I do feel like every character has a very kind of concrete storyline that it follows. So each of them has kind of, you know, one thing they're going through or one piece of drama that kind of follows them through the entire 8 episodes of this series, and then it kind of comes to a conclusion at the end, or doesn't in some cases. Some of the characters that I absolutely loved in this show were Anna. Anna is this older, very, very rich lady, and I feel like I really like her because she keeps it real. Like I feel like, you know, obviously the show, I think, you know, it's reality TV, and I think that there's a lot of various aspects of it that can feel very superficial, but I do feel like Anna is very real as a person, and she tells it like it is. And I feel like while some of the things that she does are very petty, like I'm like a little bit like, oh my gosh, you're like a 50-year-old woman, I can't believe you're doing this, like this feels like something a high schooler would do. But then at the same time, I feel like she does it for good reason, I guess, and she's very willing to like keep it real with her friends, and I feel like overall she's a very caring person. So I really love Anna, and then I also really love Dr. Chu. I think he's the most wholesome character on this whole show. Basically, he's married to his wife and they have one son who they call Baby G, and Dr. Chu just really, really wants another kid, and I feel like that's the whole storyline for him, is he wants another kid and his wife doesn't, and so she is not totally upfront with him about not wanting another kid right away. And so he's like so supportive. He's just adorable to me. I don't know, I think he's so cute. Not like cute in a like physically cute, but I think that he just like, I really enjoy his storyline. And then on top of that, I feel like he's also like, basically he's really, really, really rich, and he still went to school to be a doctor. So I have to kind of admire that, because I feel like a lot of the characters in this show are just, you know, kind of rich because their parents were rich, and it doesn't seem like they've done a lot to earn a lot of their own money. And while this guy is still very rich because his parents are rich, I do feel like, you know, he still went to med school, he still got through med school and dealt with all of that and is now a doctor. So I felt like that was commendable. Okay, and then this one, honestly, I'm a little conflicted on, and I think that this might be a hot take because I'm a little iffy on Kevin. I'm not sure if I love him or hate him, and I think that if you watch the show, you might understand what I mean. I feel like a lot of people that watch it do really end up loving Kevin, but I'm a little on the fence. So Kevin essentially is this person on the show who is supposed to be kind of like the poor friend. So he found this group of friends in LA, and all of them are so much more wealthy than him, and he, you know, is barely scraping by apparently in LA. But I actually googled him, and his net worth is like $10 million, and so I'm like, are you actually poor? Or I guess in comparison to these people he's hanging out with, he does make significantly less money working as a model in LA, but still I feel like it's a stretch to portray him as this like poor character. that aside, I do feel like he is a very genuine character, and I really love the relationship between him and Kane. And I think that overarchingly, that's kind of what drew me into this series just generally, is I do feel like while it is reality TV and there are parts of it that feel very fake and feel very scripted, I do think the relationships between the characters do feel real. Like, it feels like they're actually friends, and it actually feels like you're watching this show and kind of watching what their friendships actually look like to some extent. And so I think that that's like part of what kind of draws me into this, and I think is very interesting. Now, obviously, this being reality TV, there is a lot of drama along the way. So I think one kind of big piece of drama that I was very fascinated by was the relationship between a character, Kelly, and her boyfriend, Andrew. So essentially, they're in this relationship, they're very on and off again, and basically Andrew is just like the literal worst guy ever. Like, he calls her and he's just like screaming at her at the top of his lungs, and whenever Kelly talks about her relationship with Andrew, the only real positive thing that she talks about is the fact that he doesn't cheat on her and is an honest human being. And I feel like that is like a very low standard to set for yourself in a guy, and so I just feel like she could do so much better. And I think I am just like baffled as to why she's staying with Andrew. The only thing he has going for him is that he was the Red Power Ranger, I guess. I don't know. He just doesn't seem like a great guy, and I don't really understand why he's still on the show. And by the end of it, I really just wanted him to be done with, and I wanted Kelly to be with Kevin, but she just doesn't feel like she's into Kevin. I feel like she's definitely friend zoned him, but I'm still holding out hope that in season 2, Kelly and Kevin will get together. Let me see. I definitely ship that. Do you ship that? Let me know. But I'm really over Kelly and Andrew. I feel like she just deserves a better guy than this. And then another kind of piece of drama that unfolds throughout the entirety of this series is this drama between Anna and Christine. Essentially, they just like have this like weird beef, and then they kind of just like go back and forth, like doing really petty things. So for example, at one of their dinner parties, Anna like moves Christine's seat to the back corner so she's not with their friends. I just don't really understand the weird drama between them, but I guess it does make for interesting content in terms of the show. I'm not totally sure like what that's exactly about. It almost feels like they both like have this power struggle of like who's richer, and so therefore they have to just keep like, I don't know, outdoing one another. So I don't really know, but that is another piece of drama that the show kind of strongly follows. So while I very much loved this show, I do think that there were a few issues that I had with it. So there were some things that I didn't totally like. So one thing that I kind of touched on already is like, why do they portray Kevin as this like poor character? Again, he's clearly not poor, and again, in comparison, like I guess maybe, but I just feel like I want to know a little bit more about what his day-to-day life looks like. They kind of just show him hanging out with all of his friends, but apparently he's this like model who's actively working, so I want to see a little bit more about his like actual life. And I think that kind of goes for all of the characters. You don't really see them doing anything really other than shopping and like kind of doing whatever they want. I know a lot of them are, you know, just inheriting a lot of money from their families, but I know some of them, based upon kind of looking the characters up afterwards, have worked really hard to get to where they are. So I think Kelly actually came up from not having that much, and she worked her way up in the restaurant industry is what I was kind of reading. And so I do feel like she is working, and so I want to see a little bit more behind how she earned her money, how she got there. In the very first episode, they do go over, you know, a little bit like very surface level why these people are so rich, but I want to see a little bit more about that and how that impacts their day-to-day lives. I feel like that would really enhance the story for me a little bit more. And then I think another thing that they definitely could have improved upon in this is I feel like the show on Netflix is going to be very popular, and I think in part that kind of comes from the kind of comparison to Crazy Rich Asians. So I feel like the movie Crazy Rich Asians was so popular and so widespread and so well known, and so this kind of having a similar feel or marketing it in a similar way is definitely going to draw a lot of people into watching this television series. And I think that kind of a mark that they missed with this is the opportunity to kind of educate people further on what Asian culture is like, or what different pieces of Asian culture mean, or, you know, things like that. I think that there was a part of it where they're talking about red envelopes and just receiving like money in them, and I think that that would have been a cool opportunity to take some time and explain what that means or why, or the background of that. And I think that, you know, again, they're just gonna have so many people who might otherwise not know about these things or not want to learn about these things, and I feel like it's kind of a missed opportunity to talk a little bit more about, you know, Asian culture, just to educate a more widespread audience. So I feel like that's definitely something that they could incorporate into the next one if they want. Though, like I said, it is, you know, reality TV drama, so I guess that's not really the point of it. People aren't necessarily watching it to be educated, but I feel like it could be a cool opportunity to do so in the midst of this TV drama. Overarchingly, I love this series. Like I said, I binged it all in a day and a half, and so if you are interested in watching it, I would definitely recommend checking it out. I've also been like lurking all of the cast members' Instagrams for the last 2 days, so that's been kind of interesting, learning more about their background and more about who they are and what they're doing now that the filming is over. But I'm definitely hoping for a season 2. Let me know down below who your favorite character on Bling Empire was if you've already watched it, and thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you have a great rest of your week. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every Monday and then other days if I feel like it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
She's a Mona Lisa.